well, the moment this gone, I don't know what to do. So I'm in emergency mode shopping for replacements. Easily the best discovery of the year. Well, is it? I mean, it's up there. Yeah. And I keep trying to answer the question, why was this made? Why? Friends, family, this is officially the last haul of this year. I have unloaded 16 perfumes to my mother when she was visiting. So I had some room in my kind of low-buy / mindful hedonism practices of sampling and trying new perfumes. So I indulged a little bit. I found a few really cool things here and there. Some TJ Maxx, some gray markets like Fragrance Net, and etc. Some secondhand markets at like Mercari in eBay. And some of these things easily could make it to my like the best of the year 2024 year fragrance discoveries easily. Some misses, however, too. So I just wanted to like give you a good scoop on what's out there. Some of these are releases of the year, some of these are really famous niche or luxe kind of designer markets. So like we got a little bit of everything today. Starting with a little bit of an emergency shopping activity, I am trying to find a replacement for Serge Lutens Daim Blond that has been repackaged into a much more expensive option that's offered by the brand. And I am down to my last backup because some of you guys who discovered my stash that you can actually peruse online and even get something for yourself from the very bottles that I own in my olfactory library. Those who have discovered that I do share Daim Blond have been working at it, and I, at this point, at the very last backup that I have of Daim Blond, in this floral, bright, really like bright character driven floral leather, is truly unparalleled. It's one of the sought after Serge Lutens fragrances, and I am very quickly running out of it. And in my attempts to find a suitable replacement, I found a secondhand gently used bottle of BDK Crème de Coeur. Remember the times when every blogger who had more than, let's say, 30,000 subscribers got BDK gift packages and it was all over the YouTube? Those were the times, guys. Those were the times. I was not one of them. So I have to spend my own money shopping BDK. Go figure. Crème de Coeur. Not a French speaker, if you noticed. The creamy leather by this brand. This is a niche brand. I'm not sure if they have much of a story to tell in terms of conceptual design or the brand legacy or history, but this was one of their best sellers. I think was something about red tobacco is Montserrat. There was another one that was really Rouge Smoking, I think it was called. They were the best sellers by the brand, and their creamy leather, I thought, could be a very suitable, soft, somewhat demure and alluring leather, something that's potentially even, dare I say, feminine. I grabbed it, I wore it for a little bit recently, and I can say that to me this is way closer to Mortal Skin by Stefan Luca 777. It's like a long brand name. Their bottles have these characteristic onion domes, such as from mosques, for example. I find them to be way more closer together, so I'm kind of happy that I can cross the Mortal Skin of my wish list, because to me, at least according to my olfactory memory, these come close enough. If you have both, please leave a comment. Let us know if you can feel any detectable differences. To me, like one of them suffices, but I wouldn't call this an adequate replacement for Daim Blond. If you like something a little brighter, a little punchier, with a little bit more character, Daim Blond is still supreme. However, I find that I gravitate quite nicely toward a more demure, more nuanced, softer, more like sebum-like, skin-like formulation that the Crème de Coeur provides by BTK. So kind of very, very excited and happy. I'm going to include these in the soft leather samplers for those of you who want to get one of the samplers that I offer from my olfactory library. The link will be down below with a secret code, as usual, that lasts a week from the day I publish the video, so you can take advantage of some really, really good stuff you can try together with me. Next is gonna be, let's call spade a spade, a huge, massive disappointment. I expected so much from this purchase because it's my second Nasomatto. First purchase by Nasomatto was Blond. It's a very scandalous, out there, provocative brand of niche perfumery that formulates every single product in the, I think, perfume extract. So it's supposed to be super punchy, super long lasting, like everything that you've ever dreamt about. And they make forward looking, very, I don't want to say vivid because it's not quite the right word, but very bright, very punchy formulations. I also am a big fan of boozy cocktail-like fragrances. So I got their Absinthe. I do own Roi de Absinthe by L'Artisan Parfumeur. I have been eyeing Franc Boclet Absinthe. There are a few, not too many, but there are a few fragrances that kind of exploit the absinthe theme, including Kilian, which I tried, but I wasn't hugely impressed with it. So I thought maybe Nasomatto will really deliver, because L'Artisan Parfumeur version I love, I adore. It's my go-to when it comes to absinthe and perfumery. But I always look for something that can top that. So I thought Nasomatto probably delivers a clubbing type of absinthe. However, what I got was kind of a wet, rich green soil fragrance with a hint of absinthe that kind of overall, the whole mix sounds dirty, underdeveloped, and almost kind of like an attempt to create an absinthe scent by a student of perfumery rather than a master. Some of you who've tried some craft perfumery, some very, very small niche perfumers, if you mixed perfumes yourself, there is such a notion, as sometimes people say, then the mixture is dirty. It doesn't seem like the components weave into each other as nicely. It seems that some things stick out in disharmony to everything else. And when it comes to absinthe, that's definitely the impression that I get. The kind of topsoil, the gardening aspect of this fragrance really overpowers, in my view, the nuance of the absinthe. I would like it to be a little bit more well crafted, a little bit more nuanced, and it doesn't quite deliver on that. So I tried to wear it and I could not enjoy. It just sounds like an unfortunate mixture of perfume ingredients that don't really go together as well. And I really, really miss the absinthe itself. And it's a namesake, right? It's the name of the fragrance. It just doesn't quite pierce through. It doesn't quite round itself for me to enjoy that accord. Next, I finally laid my hands on the new kind of boutique collection by Estee Lauder and their fragrances. Not the ones you're thinking about, not the Reimagined by Frederic Malle core collection, which I am gonna hand down eventually, but their demure, evocative watercolory collection in these bottles. I love the bottles, I love the packaging, I love the concepts, though I feel they could be a little bit more out there. The names such as Blushing Sands, Dream Dusk, and yada yada yada. Nice, but a bit cliche. However, before I show you which ones I actually picked for myself from that collection, after much hesitation, I have a confession to make. I am not a proper perfume reviewer, and as an ex-beauty blogger, I'm crying a little inside as I'm saying this. I don't get the packaging video content whatsoever. All of these perfumes that I'm showing you are new, and yet you probably notice I show them without the packaging. I just, as soon as I get something, I just unpackage it and kind of call it a day. So I just, to satisfy the minimum requirements, I feel like for me not to get canceled, I'll show you one. I clearly haven't packaged it before, but like we're gonna get somebody explain to me what is the point of doing this. Is that the ASMR aspect of crinkling? Is that I mean, it's a box, but here we go. Here it is. Moving on. Minimal packaging still. The thing that I secretly am curious if I'm going to take advantage of or not is the fact that these bottles in these collections are rechargeable, refillable. So you can unscrew this thing. It's literally like a bottle that you can pour from and add to. I am absolutely have plans if I use them extensively, or if you guys want to grab a few decants to kind of share, like split the bottle with me, and as well as support this channel by doing so. I am planning to refill them with either same perfume or actually use these pretty bottles for something else. So I'm kind of intrigued. I love the idea. Okay, all right, to the juice. I got Dream Dusk, which is kind of this blooming sakura idea. So it has this water lotusy, peony, kind of spring floral profile, which to me reads really boring, and yet I looked around in my collection and I don't own a single one like this. It turns out that my florals are heavily indexed on white florals, such as neroli or jasmine, where you without mistake, you can hear the dominant floral component, the accord. But to have something just floaty, not lily-like, not jasmine-like, not neroli-like, not citrusy or bergamot, but these spring floaty, peony, sakura, lotusy florals. The only one that comes to mind is Miracle by Lancôme, but Miracle has a very distinct flavor. It has a very distinct profile, to me, easy to recognize. So when it comes to actually having something that's dreamy and youthful in that sense, I don't have anything. I'm so shocked. When I smell this, I continuously ponder, why doesn't Kenzo offer us an option like this? Because their fresh perfumes by Kenzo tend to be lemony, tend to be very citrusy. So I am kind of, there's a silver lining for me to own Dream Dusk, because apparently it is rare in my olfactory library. But is it interesting enough to wear? Not sure. We'll see. This might be something that will get regifted to one of my younger friends or nieces. We'll see. It's beautiful though. beautiful, high quality, incredible packaging wise product. So I almost feel this is like a Sweet 16 gift option. Or if you feel in your heart that it's always April and you're always 16, maybe that's what you need to get in your collection. Dream Dusk, Estee Lauder. Next one, Tender Light. This is where it gets way more interesting in my not so humble opinion. Tender Light. Guys, now we're getting somewhere. If you've seen my haul where I showed you Promise by Cartier, the smoky iris that failed to deliver on the smoky, deliver just boring, kind of bookish, kind of dry iris. It's not bad. It's just I've been mostly utilizing it as a room spray. Just like a mental diagnosis in itself. But when it comes to non-gourmand, non-boiled carrots, interesting, not necessarily mono, but iris central fragrance, it's been a struggle, and we're finally getting somewhere here. And sure enough, Tender Light is being discontinued, as I hear down the line. It is actually really cool. It's not too bitter. It's not too smoky. I even brought something that immediately reminded me of Tapis Volant by Les Liquides Imaginaires. A French niche that would be like way more expensive, but also these fragrance to me played on the same theme. This is much smokier, more bitter iris, and probably is actually closer to what I was looking for all along. I had it, but in its own way, to me, this is a bit of a like kind of a mean spinster energy, just a little bit. Tapis Volant just gives me just this kind of stern wasp type of a lady, while Tender Light, it's delightful all the way through. It's supposedly the mixture of a tea accord with iris. To me, it's just the most delightful and well-supported iris scent I've ever experienced. Why is it discontinued? Well, I guess iris is not the most mainstream genre in perfumery, but those who do get to enjoy iris-centric perfumes, just like in gourmet food, it just becomes one of the things you have to experience every once in a while. You have to find your favorite iris. You have to have it in your collection. It's a bit of a learned pleasure, I find, for most people, but at the same time, these are the most universally soft, flattering perfumes that go way across the gender marketing zones. So a Tender Light is an absolute hit. And sure enough, something that I do like has to be discontinued the moment I buy it. Beautiful. How it compares with other irises remains to be studied and potentially made into its own video. As soon as I gather a little bit more intelligence on smoky and more interesting, unusual irises, if you are invested in the topic, let me know in the comments down below. That said, the third one is called Blushing Scents. And when I was showing it to my mom, who generally enjoys perfumery but is not really interested in any of the delicacies and the theory behind it, like my mom is like a grateful consumer, Blushing Scents is what she enjoyed the least. And I can see why. It is yet another take on tea plus smoky vetiver story. And I swear to God, oddly enough, within the last couple of months, I keep stumbling upon this combination like as if it's a thing. Probably coincidence in my personal journey, but Indigo Smoke by Arquiste, now Blushing Sands by Estee Lauder. And I swear to God, there were like several others that I keep just bumping on this theme that's kind of testing me a little bit. I can see how it could be marketed toward men, but I'm not ready to give it the final judgment yet. Give me some time. We might talk about Vetivers again in the context. I have I think 2 videos on the Vetiver note as an essential part of perfumery and in its world. You can watch them on my channel already. Yet recently I got a request to make a video dedicated to what is the world of perfumery if you step outside of, a typical Dior Sauvage type of windshield wiper liquid concoctions that just have such an unmistakable profile that it's a bane of my existence to smell it around. So what else is out there? Maybe we'll talk more about smoky vetivers and blushing scents there, because it's definitely a very tasteful and safe encounter if you're not quite used to being more bold and being more exploratory in the territory of male marketed perfumes. I use air quotes because there is no such a thing as female or male perfume. It's all the matter of marketing, which was essentially invented in the middle of last century. Before that, a lot of things that we think are now, for example, shippers that are primarily marketed toward women used to be marketed toward men, and Lychee and other kind of herbaceous perfumes that are now marketed toward men used to be made for queens in aristocracy, like female aristocracy. So there is so much of made up distinction between genderized perfumes. I have to always include the air quotes, and yet it became yet another label that people use in order to kind of verbally navigate in the world that's essentially you can only experience through whiffs, right? Through smelling the world. So since we are talking through digital media, I can see as this could be a really good St. Valentine's present for a guy. Blushing scents. Well, I'll wear it. I'll let you know how it compares with everything else that I have. As I was preparing for my reviews, my 2-part review of Leather Accord, the history, the ingredients, and the overall huge genre that consists of many subgenres. I hope you've watched these videos. If you haven't, please do. I put a lot of effort into kind of weaving things together and showing you my collection of leather scents. I watched a few videos by other beloved bloggers, and sure enough, every time when I watch something by Sam, The World of Fragrance, if I don't forget, I'll leave the link below. If I forget, you do so, please, and tell Sam that I sent you there. She made a video about leather scents, and sure enough, I watch it and I order something. That's how it goes. She's dangerous. Sam, you're a danger to community. My wallet feels it every time I watch your content. So she kind of just off the cuff threw this, that's kind of cute. It's a really cute leather scent. It has like a bit of a raspberry jammy feel to it. I really like it. I was like, yay. I don't know why. I am like on this love-hate journey with trying to find berry jammy raspberry strawberry scents that I'll actually like, because I don't like any of them. Why am I doing this to myself? We will never know, but here we are. Thank you, Sam. I have bought the moment she said it, I bought it. This is a boutique line by Salvador Dali, and it's one of their golden shapes lines. The fragrance is called Fabulous Mandawa. Fabulous Mandawa. So what is it supposed to be? It's supposed to be leather with kind of the sweet, somewhat syrupy raspberry, if we simplify it enough. First of all, I kind of dig the bottles. I mean, they do look cool on my shelves. I do like the bottle design by Salvador Dali. That's one thing they did right the first time. And I feel they can't quite go back to the success of their beginnings yet. But this is not bad. This is not bad at all. And the leather here is a bit bitter, but it's not too dirty. It's not too brutal. What would be example of brutal leathers? Like a lot of Memo leathers, especially Moroccan leather by them. Oh, good God. This is just like going to a leather factory. That stuff stinks. Not situation here is not so bad. It's way more curated bitterness and leatherness. It's not too green. It's not like Habashar by Crème or other green leather scents. Not really. So it is really a cute, almost cigarette-like bitterness that has these raspberry syrup to support its accord in its heart. I do find it kind of like, it's like a very beautiful, almost charming, seductive girl who's got a very sarcastic attitude. It has that kind of character. And yet, one big drawback that I personally find with a lot of recent boutique releases by Salvador Dali is that to me, they don't smell expensive. I don't know what is it, but it just smells, I wouldn't say mass market, but it just doesn't smell luxurious. It's like cool pop art little print, but it's not an oil painting, you know what I mean? It just lacks a little bit of either richness or depth or refinement. So it's like, yeah, cool. Like I'll throw it on top of me, wearing a scarf and leather jacket, but it's not something that I would wear to a special occasion. It's not something that creates an atmosphere. It has a mood. It's a light, as I said, pretty sarcastic / pretty mood, but not more than that. And for the prices that they sell them, like full price, if you want to buy it from the official website, it's kind of like you would probably want more. Cute, cool, hip, but not necessary. Let's be real here. Another release, very recent release by Dusita is Rosarine. And I expected so much. This is my downfall. This is my fault. I expected so much from Dusita when it comes to creating a lychee rose scent. The moment I read, I was like, okay, here I am. This is gonna be it. Because Dusita is known for very bright, sometimes even naive, bright formulations. They're vivid. They're, I wouldn't say squeamish, but they kind of demand attention the moment you spray them. That we do get a delivery on, for sure. But to me, it's not fruity, as I expected. It's sweet, but almost, it's like there is some kind of a blanket of either patchouli or marijuana or some kind of this heavy, oily smoke that just stands around the rose and its sweetness. And it kind of reminds me of this bohemian rose concept that I think Holy Rose really delivers on really well by Room 1015. And when it comes to these kind of pot-like presents, be it patchouli or some other accord, I just prefer Holy Rose like 10 times over Rosarine. Rosarine is just a little odd. There's something about this formulation that almost reminds me of when on a hot, sweaty skin you put like a sweet oil, some kind of sweet Arabian oil formulation. There's something about this that's, to me, almost BO-like, with a sweet, oily substance overlaid on top of it. I just never quite find the facet of this scent that sits well with my nose and with the way I perceive it. It's always somewhat uncomfortable or disturbing. Something about it just makes me want to wash it away. While Holy Rose, goodness gracious, I mean, it's no coincidence that I used up 2 8 ml decants, 2, and got myself the largest size available. So, right? There's no contest here. When it comes to bohemian pothead type of a rose, Holy Rose just owns it. It owns the market for real. Rosarine did not deliver me to the fruity aspects of lychee, and it's a really odd bohemian take on a rose. It's definitely get a decant first. I don't consider this a safe blind buy. But to be honest, none of the Dusitas I would consider to be safe for blind buying. What do you think? Agree, disagree? I find that this, as interesting as it is to have Dusita available to us in the world of niche perfumery, this is an acquired taste kind of a thing. I finally caved in and got myself Barenia by Hermes. Probably the most loved and hated designer release of the year. Agree, disagree? Who do you think could compete with Barenia for how much kind of grassroots hype and hate it got? I didn't even notice much of a promotion of Barenia, as I saw some very legitimate, sincere discussions where people were disturbed. I think what really confused everyone to begin with, including me, was that Barenia is a type of leather, and Hermes is known for its prohibitively expensive, exclusive clubs where you have to get on a wish list to get a purse and wait 5 years, yada, 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 yada. So Hermes is leather first and foremost. So everybody expected from a fragrance, and they don't release mainstream fragrances too often, for something to be called Barenia and to come from Hermes, that had to be a new, novel take on leather. This fragrance is not about leather, and I was surprised. Like, every second reviewer or article that I read about Barenia were surprised. Everybody was trying to kind of sort of insinuate and like find leather there. It's like, I don't quite feel it, but maybe it's there. It's not there. It's Barenia. I don't know why they did it to us. I don't know why Hermes decided to call it that, because if it really is suggestive, the brand and what's it known for, the name, it's not about leather whatsoever. It is one of the most elegant, refined, bohemian berry scents. It is an incredible balance of simplicity, friendliness, and elegance. I don't want to say luxury, because this word gets thrown around way too much in very, very contrasting contextual meaning of it really changes a lot. So elegant. This is, think of if Kate Blanchett was recording a advertisement for this perfume, she would be sitting in the most Oscar ready gown, just picking one berry after another and eating it in the most clean, pristine video setting ever. I immediately fell in love with it. It is, again, is it the most complex and unusual fragrance ever? No. But then it is a designer release. This is meant to be on every corner, on every department store, and yet it has to carry what Hermes is all about. And I think with that, it succeeded. It over delivered almost. I'm personally not a big fan of the bottle. I find that this is not the most luxurious looking packaging. Maybe that's just me. The packaging doesn't do it for me. I'll say that much. But the scent profile, genius. I would call it easily one of the best releases of last year and definitely in the top 10 discoveries of this year for me. A designer scent that walks the edge, the blade of friendliness, elegance, sophistication, and affordability. Whew. This is amazing. This is wow. This is a definite wow. I am so happy I got it. And by the way, you can split the bottle with me. I'll leave the link below if you want to give it a go before you commit to a full-size bottle. And the last but not least, I got myself a full-size bottle, my first one, because I've gone through many decants but never quite committed to full-size bottle, by niche brand Perris Monte Carlo. One of the crowd favorites when it comes to medium tier niche. My favorite category. You know why? Because who doesn't love interesting, sophisticated, unusual, yet wearable scent combinations for a reasonable price without too much overblown or flowery marketing. So everything is just it's very efficient in a way that what you get out of purchasing their scents. So Perris Monte Carlo has kind of a club of devoted supporters who really enjoy that sweet spot, that golden ratio of interestingness, quality, and price. I finally caved in. I bought it blindly because I need to find replacements for some of my lavender scents that I watched my lavender perfume collection review. If you want, you can join me and rewatch it as well. And I found that 70% of perfumes that I talk about are discontinued now. I still love them. I can still, split a bottle with you, but it's kind of awkward. It's becoming awkward. We are again entering the cycle when things are released and discontinued way too fast. So, Lavender Romaine is Perris Monte Carlo take on lavender, pure lavender. So we should have high expectations for this to be a naturalistic yet inspiring lavender fragrance. Wow. First and foremost, it just puts a bright smile on my face because it's the smell of my summers in my childhood. It brings a very fresh green, I would say like citrusy / bergamot kind of a punch with the follow-up branches and berries of blackcurrant. I remember helping my grandma with the blackcurrant bushes and eating as much of it as I could. So by the end of the summer, I could not stand the taste of blackcurrant. As every kid, I was overdoing it to the point of throwing up. Anything I could find, I would eat out there in the country. So, but now it's just the smell of childhood blackcurrant. It's not the jammy, sweet part of blackcurrant as we remember it. It's more like fresh, greeny, almost zesty part of blackcurrant as an accord. And then on its background, when it settles, you get this dry, cerebral, very bookish, as I call it, the scents that are like a smell of a good book. That's my olfactory reference for a lot of scents. It's when the scent is not sour, is not sweet, it doesn't fall into pieces, when it just has this very even, thin, maybe somewhat powdery, somewhat dry kind of a feel to it. So Lavender Romaine by Perris Monte Carlo is simultaneously fresh green, and yet it has this dry, bookish aftertaste of lavender. I love it. Confidently unisex. It's you either you love lavender and blackcurrant, or you don't, right? Like, it's not really a matter of your gender identification. It's the matter of your preferences in types of smells that you like. To me, it's a lucky blind buy. I really enjoy it. Does it really fulfill the purpose of replacing all my lavender scents? No. Still to this day, not much can beat Lavandula by Ben Halligans, which I have just a little bit left in the bottle that I got from Edinburgh in Scotland. But this is a good addition. This is a very honorable, really cool addition to my lavender/blackcurrant scent collection. One of the bottles that my mom snatched from me was Jennifer Aniston, her like namesake first perfume that she ever made, because when I found it, I immediately thought of how my grandma used to smell. I don't know what is it. It's supposed to be like a jasmine scent, but to me, it was a smell of like comfort and childhood and my grandma. And when I showed it to my mom, she agreed. We couldn't remember if my grandma ever owned any jasmine scents, but there was definitely something associated with her. So she ran out of the bottle that I bought for her, even though like it's a celebrity fragrance. It's very affordable. It's fairly unique, and I would say like almost niche quality among the celebrity fragrances. So mom ran out of her bottle yet again. I was already on my second or third bottle, so I just gave my pretty much a bucket that I bought once. It was very inexpensive. I was like, oh, I'll just buy some more. You can have this one. And then I go online and I realize that you can't find it anywhere, not for that price that I remember anyway. So kind of a bit of a shock. I'm still acclimating to it. I might have to like just bite the bullet and buy it for the price you can find it for. But, you know, knowing that you could get it for like $15 is just, it's a lot. Anyway, to get me through, just to get me a little bit settled and not panicky, I got Jennifer Aniston in a travel. So for me, again, this is a very comforting, a rather sweet but not sweet jasmine scent. To me, it's just the smell of comfort. I love it, especially before going to bed. And I will have to remedy this somehow. I also decided to pull the trigger and get a few travel size perfumes by 100% 100% Sanbon. It is, as far as I know, a affordable kind of a mass market option of creative, easy to wear scents that's produced in Europe. Am I right? Am I wrong? It's made in France, and they kind of been getting pretty good reviews, so I thought, why not? I used to be a big fan of the company called, I think, Good Chemistry. They were sold in Target back in the day, and they had a lot of really, really fun, very cheap compositions that were like forward-looking, imaginative. It was really fun time back in the day. Remember when Target used to have the best collaborations, fashion-wise, whatever you can think-wise, including a lot of pretty cool small, like niche skincare and fragrance companies, including Good Chemistry. So, Sanbon, Davana and Vanille. Cool, kind of card candy like. So far, so cute, but I would rather probably categorize Divine and Vanille as a children perfumery. It's just very naive. It's very simple. It's cute. It's cute. I would definitely gift it to like a 12-year-old if such 12-year-old girl wanted to have a scent. Okay, next one is Eau de Gingembre. Ginger is on my list of trends of 2024, even though we're getting to a closure here, to the wrap of the year. Still always worth to try another ginger and find the one that's true ginger. This is ginger candy, ginger lemon candy. This is not an authentic ginger. It's not dried ginger, it's not marinated ginger, it's not fresh ginger. This is ginger candy, which is oddly enough probably a more affordable option than to buy Diffusion de Prada ginger, which I was kind of sort of disappointed by. This is much more affordable if you like ginger candy. Again, a bit too childish. There's something about this that just rings childlike to me. And Le du Parc. I'll need to read up about this one because this is really bizarre. This smells like hairspray or something. Maybe it's meant to smell like dry herbs, but it has this really... Okay, this will need to be tested. The first impressions are close to horrific, but the good news about all of these, as this is a very affordable brand, they all have a formulation of eau de toilette / body spray, so it's not gonna ruin your day, but it might ruin 20 minutes in it. That's just... Oy. Maybe on the skin it will be better. Let's move on. It's getting awkward. Okay. Scentbird. That's the last installment of this last haul of the year. Let's talk about Scentbird. I get 3 decants every 3 months. That cadence work for me. So it's time. I got Ormonde Verano. I wanted to try Ormonde for the longest time ever. All of the little samples that I had by them were not really impressive to me, so I keep kind of trying to find my entrance to the brand. So the one that I got to show you is Verano. And Verano is supposed to be leather, suede, grapefruit, cashmeran, and tobacco leaf. There is a hint of leather that's been heavily submersed in bleach. To me, this smells like cleaning products, like bleach. Somewhat like a soapy bleach, maybe. There's something about it that makes me think of hospitals. I do not understand how I will make this work. What? Leather? Suede? Really? Where? Where? Oh, this is... I don't think I'll wear this, to be completely honest. I'll try. I'll give it a go, but... Okay, and the one, because I am assembling an army of frangipani scents, or also called Monoi / Plumeria, Ormonde has one. So I thought it's only natural for me to give it a go. Well, this is supposed to be frangipani, tuberose, rose, plum, and orchid. Yet it tastes like this like synthetic tropical fruit salad essence. Like if you didn't, like if you did actually cut all kinds of exotic fruits, you know, peaches, mangoes, this, yeah, and put it in a big fruit salad, it would be one thing. Now, no, not that. Imagine if a chemist recreated that impression for, let's say, an air refreshener, or it used to be popular, those powders that you could add water to, you would get juice back in the day. So that's just the chemical flavor that's supposed to represent frangipani and tropical fruits. And that's it. It's very linear. It's very synthetic, kind of unnatural, like smelling. There's really does not deliver on the natural aspects of frangipani. But it's bright. It's essentially sour sweet. Oh, you know what? You can find tastes and flavors like that when you buy premixed cocktails. You know what I'm talking about? Like some of those, maybe Mai Tais or whatever, tropical fruit cocktails that come already in the glowing bottle. God knows what's in it. That's where it gets me to. Okay, this is yet another, let's call it not a win by Ormonde Jayne. And the last one I so wanted to tell you about, and I lost it. I can't find the decant, but it is Dirty Hinoki by Heretic, my first Heretic decant. And they had a moment of fame, I think, with their Dirty Coconut and especially Dirty Vanilla. And I haven't tried though. Maybe? Can't remember. But Dirty Hinoki is dirty. Oh, it's such a cool, soft, demure citrus perfume. And when I say citrus there is merely as much of a kind of bitter oiliness of citrus that you get when, you know, when they kind of pull the orange peel all over the rim of your old-fashioned, and you just get a little bit, just a whiff, just a hint. It's the same with Dirty Hinoki. You just get this whiff of oily bitterness of a citrus, some kind of a bitter orange or some kind of bitter citrus, but only a hint. Otherwise, it's just comfortable, seductively semi-sweet, just with a hint of sweetness. It's just such a sexy pajamas perfume. Love it. Can't believe that I like misplaced it somewhere. I'm sure I'll find it one day somewhere. But cool beans. I am considering sort of adding it to my wish list and see if I can find it secondhand market, maybe Mercari, maybe some other place. Though I heard that Heretic perfumes are not that expensive. Do you have any? Do you enjoy any? Any recommendations? Let us know. And with that is a wrap for me buying perfumes in 2024. I hope you enjoy this installment of confessions of my little scented indulgences. Please let me know what you have purchased recently, what you've been eyeing, what you've been enjoying. Let's trade secrets. And with that, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.